Everybody, welcome. It is Tuesday night football roundtable. Please like, share, notify, and subscribe for all our latest content. We're getting some good content on our pages. Thank you all. And tonight I am joined by KD, Eric, and David. How are you guys doing tonight?
Doing well.
I'm good.
Very good. All I can say is New York has been busy in the last 24 hours. We got Daniel Jones, the $18 billion man, who has been benched, and they're bringing in DeVito. DeVito, you broke my heart. And Joe Douglas getting canned, like we didn't see the writing on the wall happen. Any thoughts about that, KD?
I don't like any of this stuff because we were told that basically Robert Saleh was the problem. So I don't like any of this stuff because I felt like some of the moves that you're doing, you could have kept him there and say, hey, look, let's try him out with a different GM. Let's try him out with different personnel. But it is what it is. Because again, we've seen him being that bad of a coach, quote unquote, but he got hired 5 days, not even.
Yeah.
So again, it's like, all right, you're so bad, but I want you on my staff. So I don't get it.
Actually, he wasn't hired by Green Bay. He's just consulting for Green Bay for free because the Jets still owe him a year and a half salary. And I'd do that. I'd take that. Eric, Katie, first, do you have any thoughts about Daniel Jones being benched and bringing in Tommy DeVito?
No, I do not. My whole thing is it's a couple of years too late. That's the whole thing for me. Because somebody out in the world, I don't remember who it was. Somebody said Daniel Jones was Lamar Jackson was a poor man's Daniel Jones. And I'm like, what? But okay, all right, got it.
All right. Wow, starting the shit talking early. I know that was, Eric, you have a bullseye on your chest because obviously you had said that. And what are your thoughts?
To be honest with you, a 48% completion percentage, he might be a poor man Daniel Jones compared to what I saw on Sunday.
86% completion rate with no touchdowns? I'll take it, Alex. No rushing touchdowns? I'll take it, Alex. Get the fuck out of here.
86%? When did that happen?
Right, that's what you were riding off of. You were riding off of that. Oh, look what my quarterback did. 13 for 19. He got 2 touchdowns. Get out of here.
Hey, if every drive ends in a kick, you win. And you saw that's the difference in the game, right? Turnovers, and then every drive ended in a kick.
We're going to talk about that in just a little bit, boys. Let's stay on track.
Yeah. It's the Daniel Jones thing. I saw something horrifying today. I think I shared it with you, right, Dave? Or was it Jeff?
Probably Jeff.
No. I think that the whole Pittsburgh could be a Daniel Jones landing spot. I was like,
oh, yeah, that was me.
No.
Well, look at here. The thing about Daniel Jones, this is all I'll say, is he was fortunate. He was fortunate that, the Giants hired Brian Daboll. They made the playoffs. It was a contract year for him. They either had to make the playoffs and decide that Daniel Jones wasn't the guy, or they had to pay him. And so he was in the right spot at the right time to make the money that he made. Do we all think it was the right money? Probably not. But as I said, when that time period was going on, I said to Jeffrey, because he, again, whether he earned it or not, the Giants were not going to make the playoffs and then cut bait with the quarterback who got him there. So it was a perfect storm of opportunity for him and the Giants making the playoffs, hiring Brian Daboll, and they thought that Brian Daboll was going to do to Daniel Jones what he did with Josh Allen, which goes to show that Josh Allen was more special than a Daniel Jones. So, and not to say that Brian Daboll didn't do anything, just saying. That being said, does Daniel Jones land somewhere as a backup quarterback or a starter? He probably does. But again, it didn't work out. It comes down to coaching. It comes down to developing these guys. Some guys are able to be developed, able to be coached, and some are not. And it's the ones who can't develop that becomes the issue. So am I shocked by Daniel Jones? No. What I'm shocked at is this. This is what shocks me about the Giants as an organization. They're starting Tommy DeVito. They spent $5 million on Drew Lock. Drew Lock is there. Had they decided to take 3 of that $5 million and add it to the contract that they offered in Philly to Saquon Barkley, the Giants would have the number 1 running back in the NFL right now in Saquon Barkley. And they didn't, because they didn't value Saquon Barkley. They valued a Daniel Jones and a backup quarterback. And the lesson is, like I said, when you have those good running backs, whoever they are, Pittsburgh, Najee Harris, Buffalo, James Cook, Derrick Henry, all those teams, when you look at the teams that those other guys left, those teams don't have running games anymore, and they're suffering because of it. You got to, as much as they undervalue the running back position, when you have that guy on your team, he is an important cog in the wheel. You can't let that guy go and not have anything ready to take its place. So, it's just a colossal organizational failure.
Well, I'm just going to say that if they had kept Saquon, he wouldn't be the number 1 running back in the league. He is, because he's on Philadelphia and they have a lot more weapons. They're a lot better. He would not be number 1.
I disagree.
Okay. And the one you brought up, the bringing in Tommy DeVito versus Drew Lock when they went out and got him. At this point, KD, you're sideways and strap it on the feed bag. But anyway, I think they did this because they're tanking this season. They know they have to. Right now, Jacksonville is ahead of them by I don't know why, some kind of point shit or something. They need to tank. And, at least Giants fans love Tommy. So I think that's why they're doing that. I can't see any other reason why you're going to play your 3rd straight quarterback versus your 2nd when your 2nd is proven more than your 1st.
I don't know why you want the 1st overall pick. You have more pressure on you to screw it up. Look at the last 2 quarterbacks drafted number 1.
I don't think even if you have the number 2 pick.
Jeff, where are you? Why are you not on the show, Jeff? Why don't you get your ass in here on the show instead of typing on Facebook, prick?
What does he mean by they did it to avoid injury guarantee?
I think
Daniel Jones has an injury guarantee.
Yeah.
Oh.
So they took him out, so they didn't have to. They didn't have to pay if he got injured. They wouldn't be stuck with his contract next year if they decide to get rid of him.
So ideally, comparatively, because Cleveland's fighting for that last spot, Daniel Jones' deal still doesn't look as bad as Cleveland's Deshaun Watson deal. I mean, so what? How many?
What deal would look that bad?
I hear you. I'm just giving that opportunity because I mean, what he's got? How many more years does he have, Dave? Jones.
He's got one more year after this.
Okay, so I mean, if they
just extended him like a 4 year, I think he's got 2 years left after this year, or maybe 3.
I think Katie's on the case, but we'll have to find that out before the end of the night here.
Yeah, we can hear you, but
what are you asking?
How many more years does Jones have on his contract?
Give me 2 seconds.
I think he's under contract for this year and next.
I want to say they sent him to an extension. I think he's got 3.
I thought it was like 2 year, 43 million or 40. I thought he got.
Yeah, he signed a 4-year deal.
And he's played 2 of it so far. So he's got 2 years left. You're right, Sean. Good morning, Jeff. Nice to see you.
I'm popping in to make a cameo so I can educate you fucks and then move on my way. Because listen, bottom line is Daniel Jones was benched because of the injury guarantee on his contract. The reality is this: Daniel Jones will never play another game with the Giants. He will be released at the end of the year, and he'll do a Sam Darnold and try to find a team. And maybe it is in Minnesota, depending on what Minnesota does. But Daniel Jones went down to 3 on the depth chart, so he doesn't play another down. And they're not forced to guarantee the contract for the rest of the way because that comes into play at week whatever. It's not from the start of the season. It's this point. So they were trying to right the ship, and it didn't right. And that's that. So, but to David's point, I mean, I don't understand the Tommy DeVito start versus Locke. You have a guy. I mean, the Giants are trash anyway, right? I mean, so I don't care about Daniel Jones. Who are their weapons, right? That we talked about this in the beginning of the year. I mean. The only anyway, I don't want to start going into the only person that said the Giants would be over 500 or at 500 was Eric, the same guy who said the Patriots were going to be a fucking contender. Anyway, all that being said, not a contender. I'm just talking about a contender in the East. But no, DeVito, it's silly to me. I don't understand. It's no different than the situation in Dallas where you have Cooper Rush playing, but you got a guy and Trey Lance, who was traded for, I mean, all the stuff, and he's, what do you have? Because he's a free agent at this point, right? So you let him play so you could get some value of him, or see if he's the future if Dak isn't. Which again, Dak's just a conversation every 3 or 4 days. But I know I'm going way into different teams. But bottom line is that guy is not playing because they don't want to pay the contract. He'll be released by the end of the year, if not before. It's going to be a race to see who gets fired first, Brian Dable or Daniel Jones. Jesus Christ.
I'm going to put my money on Dable. Okay, so let's talk about the games from last week. We'll start with Thursday night's game. Washington at Philly. Good game. I thought that's the way it was going to end up. Any thoughts, Jeff? You started off Washington Philly. Did you see the game? Did you like it? What do you say?
Yeah, I watched the game. I mean, and I didn't like it because I didn't want to see Philly to win. But I mean, because I think Washington's kind of taken a curve since the week before Pittsburgh, and then they shit the bed in Pittsburgh, even though there was some iffy calls during that game. I mean, not to say that Washington beats Pittsburgh if those calls were made, because there's some calls on the other side too. But they have started to play a little down. It goes to the idea, and we talked about a little bit on the text the other day about. Is Bo Nix, sneakily getting into that offensive rookie of the year when Daniels was the surefire winner 3 weeks ago, right? And the season's long, it's grueling. Injuries happen, hits happen, and this game slows down or speeds up for different players. And I think at this point, I still think Daniels is the man. I think he's going to be fine. I did not like what they put on the field against Philly, but Philly played. Philly's won like 4 games in a row, 5 games in a row now. They're actually starting to play good ball, just in spite of their bullshit coach. That's the unfortunate. Like, I agree wholeheartedly with Eric. And in the offseason, we talked about Sirianni being just a trash dude, trash coach. And the guy yaps at the fans. He's had to have Jalen Hurts stop him from being a child, right? in front of people, which is trash. But in spite of trash coaching and trash immaturity, the Eagles got a good squad on paper for a reason. They're actually starting to play that way. So I mean, it was good to see the Eagles play well. I didn't like to see the way that Washington responded.
All right. Real quick, I'm sorry, Jeff, and I was KD. You keep eating those chips like that. I'm going to get you a couple of clothespins and a rubber band. We are going to strap on that fucking feed bag. You are just goddamn.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Fuck you.
You wanted to make sure you were clear. Wanted to make sure there was no feedback or static. No, that's good. I mean,
that was the appropriate response to my comment. So I'll take it.
Yeah.
Does anyone have anything else to say about Washington and Philly?
The only thing I wanted to say is it would be really nice if Marshawn Lattimore could get into the lineup. You know, you traded for him. He had a hamstring injury. He passed the physical, yet he hasn't played in 3 weeks since you made the trade for him. It would have been nice to see him on the field to at least.
They weren't playing poorly before the trade. I mean, it's a good trade.
No, all I'm saying is, in the Philly game, especially, with him on the field, it might have negated one or the other, Devonta Smith or AJ Brown. So I think that they weren't playing bad, Jeff. I agree with you, but it would just be nice, I think, in that situation with the weapons that Philly had to maybe neutralize at least one, or at least kind of neutralize one of those weapons.
Yeah, I get you.
I'll make one real quick. Dave made his entire pick for the Washington-Pittsburgh game. Marshawn Lattimore is going to come out and shut down George Pickens. So, yes, it would be nice because you wouldn't be losing that pick every week there, Dave.
Who said that?
Dave did.
Oh, Dave.
His whole entire Washington pick was Marshawn Lattimore was going to come in on 2 days' notice and shut down, even though you're killing it on your picks, and we'll get to it. Lattimore was going to shut down Pickens, right? Dude hasn't even played. I don't know if he will play.
I picked Washington over Pittsburgh just because they have no offense. But I mean, whether or not Lattimore was there or not. I mean, I don't look. By the way, I think that's crazy because, and let me say this on live television or whatever this is. As much as I bust your balls, Eric, I've never once since the day he was drafted said Pickens is trash. I think he's a child, and he's going to get you guys in trouble. And I know he matured for one game, and that's cool, and that's great. But at the end of the day, the game before he didn't, and the game before that he didn't. It just he had a game this week against Baltimore, which he didn't do dumb shit. But that doesn't supersede the fact that he's a beast, man. I mean, George Pickens. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know if there's a current corner in the NFL that is shut down. Like, I don't see a shutdown corner. Like, there's not a Darrelle Revis or a Deion Sanders. There's not a guy right now. I know Sauce Gardner was a guy, and I know they talked about the cat Surtain.
The guy from Philly is playing lights out.
Byron Murphy.
Sure, but I don't think any of these guys are lights out dudes, right? I mean, and I just don't believe that. But at the end of the day, I haven't seen anybody that could shut down Pickens in the NFL right now, except for the fact that your quarterbacks are no good.
Wait, let me.
I'm gonna wait, Sean. I'm gonna wait. I'm not gonna do it. Move on.
No, okay. I'm gonna. I got to do this because
is Eric's frozen for you guys too, or just me?
Yeah, he's frozen. I
took a picture. I'm gonna send a screenshot for everybody because he's got his arm. I don't know what he's doing, but
wait a minute. I just got to tell you, the Eagles cornerback Quinion Mitchell. Okay, yeah. I'm just giving you these stats.
Yeah, that's the guy.
Really quick, because you were talking about shutdown cornerback. Week 1 Packers, 1 reception for 6 yards. Week 2 Drake London, 1 reception 5 yards. Week 3 Chris Olave, 2 receptions 23 yards. Week 4 Mike Evans, 2 receptions 19 yards. Week 6 Amari Cooper, 1 reception 10 yards. Week 7 Malik Neighbors, 1 reception 9 yards. Week 8 Jamar Chase, 2 receptions, 19 yards. I'm not even going to talk about the Jaguars because nobody has to cover their receivers. They just can't catch.
Yes, Eric.
Week 10, CD Lamb, 2 receptions, 14 yards. And week 11, Terry McLaurin, 0 receptions for 0 yards. That's about as shut down as you can get in terms of cornerback.
Yeah, listen, real quick. I'm not saying he's bad. All I'm saying is that I look at the receptions, what are the targets, number one. Number two, who the fuck is throwing to any one of those players besides you had Daniels? I mean, you had Joe Burrow again with Chase, obviously, right? So that's a feat. Like, that's a big deal. I'll give that to him. But listening to the other guys, name a quarterback that threw those balls, and I'm like, okay, cool. I mean, it's a big deal, and it's good, and it's a great stat. But did he play against Pickens?
No,
so that's what I'm saying. Pickens is a beast. That was my point overall.
Right, but to the whole argument about Pickens, it like we said, we've all said, George Pickens is a fantastic wide receiver, catch the shit out of balls. Okay, but he's a diva. And the same, but the same argument you gave us for 2 years about Stephon Diggs being a diva and a problem, you don't want to see it because you're a fan. But George Pickens is more of a diva and will become more of a problem than Stephon Diggs ever has been.
You're gonna wait, Sean. Just wait till our moment.
So go ahead, Sean.
Because I'm going to say he is going up against Pickens. I thought he had already done it, but the Battle of Philadelphia, because the Steelers did play or do play the Eagles. Just hasn't happened yet. But
I'm gonna wait. Move. Hey, just wait until we get to the Ravens segment.
Let's move on. Green Bay versus the Bears. The Bears are the second most cursed franchise. No, third most cursed franchise in the NFL. Good game. Kind of went back and forth, but the blocked field goal at the end. I'm really impressed that these teams are really they hone in on these special teams, because Kansas City beat Denver because of special teams. They found a hole, and Green Bay did the same thing. I know I'm going a little NFC heavy because we had comments that we don't talk to the NFC as much. We are going to get to the AFC, but anyone have any comments about the Green Bay Bears game?
The only comment I would make about that is it's hard to really determine because, like I said, they are division games and record doesn't matter. They're division games and they're tough. But I will say this. It was nice to actually see Caleb Williams rebound from 3 bad games after the bye to actually come out and put something together and make it a game because it could have got ugly. But again, division games are a different animal. They bring out the best in each team because teams gear for those games and they play those games. The fact that the Bears haven't won in Green Bay in forever is just, a stat. But again, it was nice that Green Bay has won in Chicago and forever, and it's their second home. But again, it was nice to see Caleb Williams bounce back after 3 bad games in a row. So that's all I have to say.
Real quick, the only thing I got to say is, Caleb Williams did fine, but it's funny because this is that sporadic bullshit combination with this Bears team, right? Bottom line is they ran more than they passed. Caleb Williams had like 30-some passes, but still they ran 30-some times. And they had like almost 200 yards rushing. And it was largely in part because the run game was running and the line was doing what the line does. It's funny to me because we can go week in and week out and talk about the trash offensive line of Chicago, but then go look at the games before that game and where they almost won had it not been for the blocked kick. The reality is that their coaching staff is abysmal and their line is nowhere near as bad as it is. And the quarterbacks who have quarterbacked that team for the last 2.5 years, I'll say last year, 2 years ago, Justin Fields had a horrible offensive line to deal with. Last year was improved. This year it's improved. The quarterbacks hold the ball too long or indecisive with the pass because the guy has to be wide open for them to throw. They don't have to throw the player open. And they make the offensive line look stupid because they say they keep getting sacked. But proof is in the pudding. DeAndre Swift and the rest of the group ran for almost 200 yards against a good rush defense in Green Bay because the game plan called for more runs than passes. Therefore, the play action could work. Therefore, Caleb could do better after 3 games. Caleb is going to go down as the biggest bust in NFL history even above Jamarcus Russell, because I think Caleb Williams, just like I said before, is not worth a pick. Anyway, I'm sorry, Caleb, if you're watching me. I don't like you. And not as a human. You're probably a good dude. And I don't mean it negatively, but I don't see him improving.
Hold on.
Unless he goes to Pittsburgh, could he get developed?
Hey, hold on.
Who let the dogs out?
Hey, hold on 1 second. Your quick moment is like Dell updating their damn computer. Dogs can't even stand it.
Hey, you know them Cleveland Browns are getting ready for you, Eric. Man, you better watch it.
Hey, hush. Hey, listen up. Listen up. Not working. I'll be right back.
Okay, real quick, I'm going to add, and this is just a yes or no answer. I don't want any more shit talking. I just want yes or no. Jeff brought it up. Is Caleb Williams going to be a bigger bust than Jamarcus Russell? Katie?
Yes.
David?
I'm going to say
yes. He'll play longer, Sean, so I don't know if it's yes because Jamarcus went out quick.
My problem is that any quarterback drafted to Chicago is a bust, not because of the quarterback as much as the quarterback they draft and the fact that nobody knows how to coach quarterbacks there. So it's hard to say.
Okay, real quick, before we get stuck on a tangent again, I am going to shit talk real quick. Both those teams, the Bears, no offense to our Packers fans, but I am not impressed by either performance, and they are not. Neither team looks like they can do very much. So ideally, not a fan, and that is true. Jamarcus Russell never looked at a playbook. That's a great story, and you guys should. I think there's a documentary on him. So Michael, thanks for bringing him up. But no, neither team. The Vikings are going to be probably the second team, and Detroit will probably mop the floor with either one of these teams. Not very impressed with Green Bay going into Chicago, who's not very good. And they didn't put up a very good performance and needed a good special teams play that still has a low probability of happening. So, Jay, I love you, but no. I mean, it was a very sad performance.
It's a division game, but that only works in case it's a Baltimore or Pittsburgh division game because any other division games are irrelevant. But
no, we'll get there.
I know. I know. I know we will.
Hey, Jeff, I know how to follow the rules. Sean, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't. I don't even know what the rules are. I haven't been here long enough.
Yeah, you can't hold the rookie to anything. But anyway, so the answer to the question is Caleb Williams going to be a bigger bust than Jamarcus Russell. The answer is no, purely for what Jeff said. He's going to end up playing longer, so he's not going to be as big of a bust.
One and done.
I think Philip Rivers is a bigger bust than Jamarcus, though, don't you think? I mean, Rivers had the expectation to be Philip Rivers. He had the expectation to be Peyton Manning. When
Philip Rivers had a 17-year.
Sorry, I'm
you mean Ryan Leaf?
Ryan Leaf, yeah.
Okay. All right.
I was about to leave, and I kid you not when I say I was about to go. I was getting up.
I'm sorry. First of all, when you guys at 3 a.m. your time, I'm already working, so just time out. But I see you over there, Katie. I see you. But listen, Ryan Leaf had the expectation to be Peyton Manning. Okay, when he came out, he was supposed to be the guy. He was supposed to be the Brady to Manning, and it never happened. So, I mean, we can blame coaching. We blame a lot of things. Ryan Leaf was a drug addict who had a lot of issues going on.
But I think that's the part that probably makes Jamarcus Russell work worse because, I mean, Ryan Leaf was a drug addict, and Ryan Leaf did go to jail, right? Jamarcus Russell was just normal and fucked up.
There you go. All right, so we're going to move on to the ass-kicking of the week. Jacksonville at Detroit. Now, Detroit has really – I don't want to talk about this for long because it wasn't a great game, obviously. But between the Cowboys, the Jaguars, which I can't believe that their coach still has a job, and then I forgot who the other one was, but like it's been 52-6, 52-6, 44-10 or something. I mean, Detroit they're kicking ass, and they are not apologizing for it. And I've always had a soft spot in my heart for Detroit because they were so bad, and it's nice to see them doing so well. Is this This is on purpose.
Hey, Sean, I'm going to say two things, and I'm going to stop. I'm going to make a comment about what they're doing and a comment about what happened, and then I'm going to stop talking. But this is going to be a little bit long comment. It's coaching, right? I'm going to put in the fact that for all the shit you've talked the last 2 years about the bad decisions that what's the coach name? I love
Campbell.
Yeah, about the fourth downs. It's just who they are, right? I mean, what they do is what they do. That's who he is. That's how he's going to coach. He is going to err on the side of risk every time because that's who he is. But I will say this. What they're doing is exactly who they are, right? I'm impressed by the fact that they're doing it after losing their number one defensive draft choice and arguably, at the time anyway, a contender for defensive player of the year, right? I mean, whether he wins it or not, because TJ Watt's there and there's other defenders. I mean, but the reality is Hutchinson's a beast, but they're doing it without him, right? Now, that's that. So good on them. Detroit is real, and they're gonna, and the fact that they haven't fizzled out is amazing because I thought they would give up a lot of points once old boy left, but they haven't. Now, that being said, this goes back to my frustration with the media rhetoric about MVPs. And I told David this 3 days ago, I think, and I was frustrated because I listened to after last week's performance by Goff where he threw 5 interceptions. And they said, well, he's been quickly removed from the MVP conversation because of the 5 interception game in which they still won. I don't care what could have been or should have been or would have been and blah, 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 blah. The bottom line is he threw 5 interceptions and they still won the game. Eric, you can look like that because Allen threw 3 interceptions and still won a game. So it goes hand in hand. But, oh, by the way, 5 interceptions, won the game, then come back and throws 4 touchdown passes and almost a perfect QB rating, right? So I don't care from game to game. It's not like the Steelers' offensive line is the best for 3 weeks in a row, so we use it as a total conversation for a 17-game season. They're allowed to have bad games. I don't give a shit how disastrous it is. The bottom line is Jared Goff has been consistently good, if not great, all season. He had a shit game, and they still won. That's how good they are, is that they still won despite his shit performance, right?
Hey, listen up, Sean. I'm going to wait my turn and until Pittsburgh comes up and not continue to feed into the BS, though the jabs are coming today and coming quite often.
Oh, they're coming. Don't. I'm going to stay on just for the Pittsburgh game, and then I got to go. So whenever you want to get to that, I'm ready for it. So I'll let the two.
That's actually next on the agenda.
I understand. I'll play the role Mike Tyson just as long as you make sure the check cashes. I'll keep taking the punches, and I'll wait my turn.
All right. So Eric, you're Mike Tyson. Jeffrey, you're RuPaul. We're good to go.
Hey, AD, what do you have to say about the Lions?
Yeah.
I don't have much to say. I just want to know the update for Anzalone because that's another heartbeat of the team. Now we're talking 2 different levels. So they're going to ask a young guy to step up. Now they drafted well. They already have some linebackers in play. I just don't know. Do they give you the same type of juice that Anzalone gave you, especially with Hutchinson already being out? Now, the good part about it is they acted real quick before the trade deadline and got Zadarius Smith in. It's just about how quick can you get him up to speed and let him go wreak havoc. Because I think they'll be fine. It's just a matter, again, if Goff has those bad games, are they going to be able to pick him up if they play against another team that can put points up?
I'll say one thing, Eric, and then I'll let you respond to this or just talk about. This is the only thing I'll say. You're right. Campbell is a risk reward. He'll risk it every time and anytime. He believes in his players. He believes in his team. My only issue with Dan Campbell at this point, and I don't care if they score 150 points. I mean, the Patriots were the same way. The game's 60 minutes. If you don't want us to score points, stop us. My only issue, and it was like that with the Patriots or whatnot, is at what point do you take not your foot off the gas, but when do you take your starters out of harm's way? Because it only takes one. It only takes one incident, contact or non, and you could flush your season by having a guy in a game at 49-6 or whatever the hell the score was, and he goes down with an ACL or he gets hit and whatever. And that's my only issue is if your goal is to play for the most points in the regular season, have a wonderful regular season record with the chance of risking the ultimate goal, I think you're being short-sighted. That's my only critique of them.
And I think that's extremely valid, and I love that point. Before we move on to the next game, I will say that yes, I do complain about Dan Campbell and his fourth down calls, fake punts and shit. It drives me crazy. I will just say that I think in the playoffs he will make a risky play like that, and that will cost his team the game. So, okay, we're going to move on to the next one. And we're going to
hold on. Did Eric have anything to say?
Oh, sorry.
I'm ready for the next one. I'm taking my turn, and I've been playing by the rules tonight.
You've been playing by the rules, Eric, and I am going to feed you this one, and then we're going to go to KD, and then we will go back to you. Baltimore at Pittsburgh. Great game. Eric, you can start.
I was giving Baltimore a lot of credit in the game, and KD was the salty one Sunday, and I figured he would be because I kind of figured how this game was going to go. So, look, here's the thing, and I give Baltimore a lot of respect because they're a tough football team, and they're a football team that could, as a wild card, win a couple games and make a run in the playoffs. They always can. They're a tough team. They know Pittsburgh, and their defense shows up to play. Tomlin knows them, and that's the problem. Is Tomlin knows how to play that team, and Harbaugh tries to outthink Tomlin, and that doesn't work in this matchup. But ideally, they didn't play well, and here I love being here on a Tuesday and being able to talk to you guys and being like, they didn't play well. Offensively, didn't play well. Second half, they played pretty well, but they didn't finish drives. And, they got stuff to work on, but they had almost 300 yards in that second half alone. And so, it'll drive Jeff crazy nuts. But, ideally, Harbaugh thought this. He should have used his hammer, and they should have done a lot of RPO and had made the defense be at conflict with Lamar running on the outside and Henry running on the inside, especially on the 2-yard line. He does that, and that's not the first time they've lost needing a 2-point conversion at the end. And KD, as you know, but ideally is the standard, and in this rival, until you beat us, you're gonna be second fiddle, and you got to beat us, and they typically don't, and it typically comes down to overthinking coaching decisions, and Lamar can't beat us from the pocket. It just hasn't happened, and he'll continue to have to try to do that. The good news is they didn't play well. They got a win. They're 8-2. The offense didn't play well. Offense still averaging 27 points a game with Russ at quarterback. And the fact is they could be a hell of a lot better, which should be intimidating because, when you win with a C-plus game, that's a good sign of a good team because you find a way to win. Not every game you're going to score 30 points.
KD.
I hope whoever tuned in before that just downloads all that and get that off of their actual screens because that was horseshit. But whatever. To say Lamar can't beat you from the pocket is hilarious to me because we watched. Okay, you want to do this? You have highlights of your guys taking the ball out of our receivers' hands. Yes or no? If they're caught, those will end up being touchdowns. Yes or no?
I don't live in hypotheticals. It didn't happen.
We don't. Oh God, it's not a hypothetical. It happened. It happened. Did it not? Yes or no?
You say a couple plays, but he 44% completion rating, buddy.
Okay,
48.
Okay, I get a touchdown that changes the game, guy. I make those field goals that changes the game, guy. He doesn't have to throw no more. Yes or no?
But he didn't, and that's the point. He doesn't need to throw. They need to run. I keep telling you that, but they throw and they try to have him like on the 2-point play.
You didn't watch the game, did you? You didn't watch it, did you?
I watched.
You went to sleep and woke up and said, "We won," didn't you?
I haven't missed a game. I haven't missed a game.
You had to.
37.
You had to. We had passes hitting people in the face mask. I'll just leave it at that.
You have one. Zay Flowers dropping one.
That one doesn't matter.
Oh, come on, Katie.
Who was around him? Who was around him? I just want to ask the question. Who was around him? He catches that ball. Who's around him?
He's going to turn and he's going to fumble.
Right. We good. We good. Never mind. You won the game. I'm not here to bicker. You won the game. Great job with your top 5 offense and your top 5 defense. Great job.
Top 5 defense for sure.
Hey. Oh, yep, definitely not.
All right, we're going to Jeff because he's going to die if he doesn't get to talk.
I just got to, because I got to look. Pittsburgh's defense is fine, right? They're good. They are a good defense. Baltimore scores 30-plus points a game, and they held them to 16. They are a good defense. And this is a division game. So it's a division game, just like any division game. So every time I hear this shit, I don't want to hear it no more because at the end of the day, 9-1 or whatever y'all are over the last 10, if that is it 9-1, 8-1, what is it? 9-1, right? 8-1, right? Okay, 8-1 in the last 9. And every one of those games has come down to less than a 1 point or a 1-score game, right? Got it. Here's the deal. You can tell me, and this is the stuff that's baffling. First of all, the 2-point conversion was interesting. The play call was ridiculous. I don't understand why Derrick Henry's not in. That's just the foolish thing. The play design was dumb. I mean, the whole thing. It was a mess. But we can talk hypotheticals, and we talk hypotheticals typically in the essence of this way. If Flowers catches that ball, he dropped it. That shit happens. If this penalty wasn't called, or if this penalty was called, or if Pickens didn't call for first down after he got 2 yards and forgot where he was at because he just saw an orange sign on the side of the ground, or if he didn't step out of bounds with his 85-foot stride. Those are hypotheticals. If this didn't, then that, right? The one thing we can sit here and say is good game, right? Low scoring, 18-16 games. But the sure-footed, just like the sure-footed Boswell, the sure-footed Tucker missed 2 kicks. It wasn't defended well against their Pittsburgh didn't defend well against the kick. He missed the kick. Pittsburgh didn't do anything except for not let him get in the end zone, which is what Baltimore did all game long because you scored 6 field goals because your offense against a 32nd ranked pass team was fucking atrocious. One receiver caught the ball. George Pickens. Miles didn't. Jefferson didn't, and then your tight ends and your running backs, and that's great. And Russ hit 8 different people. Cordell Patterson had a catch, and that's great, and that's fine. But again, to your point, all week you harped on it that Baltimore has the 32nd ranked pass defense, and your pass offense didn't do shit. They didn't put the ball in the end zone. I know he had 200 yards. 200 yards passing is what he finished with. That's because the minus 30 yards from 4 sacks. By the way, the pass he threw an interception on, it would have been really nice because he should have got sacked for the 5th time on that. Just so you know, Russell Wilson only threw an interception because he was rattled because he was about to get sacked for the 5th time, which I'd have been right for. However, all that being said, the game, look, Queen played amazing. Queen's strip was nice. I'm still confused if he was down or not. I mean, it was close, very, very close. The interception by Peyton Wilson, what's his name? That may be the single best defensive play I've ever seen in my life with a takeaway included, right? That was amazing to me because it was so confusing. Baltimore played good defense too. It was the card, right? Meaning that this is the heavyweight championship of the world. On Sunday football at 1:00, that was the heavyweights. This is the game that we all wait for every year, damn near twice, right? Baltimore and Pittsburgh, grudge match to the death, and it happens. This time, I'm telling, it's funny to me because where the difference of the game isn't how good Queen played. The difference of the game isn't how good Jackson played. The difference of the game is how Tucker missed 2 field goals because he makes those field goals, and you can be upset about it. But those field goals are the cause of the game.
They're not because who?
Wait, I want to ask you a question. Wait,
Dave, hold on. What he's saying. Wait, I'm going to tell you. What he's saying is, if they made those, then Pittsburgh changes their offense.
Changes the dynamic.
It changes the dynamic to what? It changes the dynamic to what?
It changes the dynamic to you get more aggressive in your play calling. You get more aggressive.
You do what? You didn't do what? You didn't put it in the end zone.
You're trying to play the game at the odds. You're winning the game the entire time.
No, so you're not. It doesn't matter. They weren't trying to score touchdowns.
Wait,
you mean Pittsburgh wasn't trying to score touchdowns?
No, David. Eric has made us aware that Tomlin worries about ball control. They've done this twice this year with 6 field goals where they've scored 18 points because their offense is inept and can't put it in the end zone. But that's not ineptness. It's their inability. It's their desire to not get 7. And they want 3. And they consistently do this because they have an inept offense. And I relished in the conversation with the XM radio folks that told me, or that said to me in my head, how great the rushing did against Baltimore, because Baltimore doesn't give up rush yards. They ran for 122 yards. Baltimore ran for 124. They talked about how they were able to. Najee Harris had one really good run. I mean, it was a really, really nice run. Just like George Pickett's had one really nice catch because it was 37 yards on a pass that Josh Allen couldn't do yet, did it only a few hours twice to Amari Cooper. But anyway, neither here nor there. They had one good pass. I mean, of distance. He did some really good check down shit. The bottom line is you could have been as aggressive as you wanted to, but no one was doing a thing. Washington finally came out. And to me, I think that's where we're talking about all these things that should be highlights for the Steelers. The thing that should really bring some joy, if I'm a Steelers fan, right, is the fact that Washington is starting to be used like he was supposed to be when he was drafted. But at the end of the day, I want to ask this question and I'll leave it be. Last year, Baltimore had a triple crown defense. You beat them. It was 1-1 last year, right? You guys did a split last year, or did you win 2? You bought one of both, right?
Yep.
How many touchdowns did you score? Do you remember? Do you remember the scores last year?
They were low scoring.
But did you score a touchdown in those games? Well, either way, you did, and it was fucking Kenny Pickett. Russ Wilson sucks, and I don't give a fuck what you say. You can't score touchdowns with sit Russ. He can score 30 points a game against the Giants and the Jets, and when he plays a defense that's 32nd in the league, he can't do a thing.
In Washington, right?
Yeah, Washington's defense hasn't been good. Their offense was. Again, I'm not talking bad about your defense. Your defense has been stellar. I have not once said to you that your defense isn't good. All I've done to you is tell you that TJ Watt ain't shit, because the fact is that you have told me we've got Hayward and we've got Highsmith and we've got Herzig and JJ Porter Jr. and all these other and Minka Fitzpatrick, right? All of the greatness. So TJ Watt is not alone doing this shit. Whereas, a Myles Garrett or a dude from Cincinnati is doing it by themselves. Your defense is great. It's really, really good. Your offense just sucks real bad. Go Steelers.
All right. We are going to just leave it there. Even the fans are getting tired of this conversation. So I'm going to move on to the.
He ain't getting tired. He's just telling you I get carried away.
You guys, you get going, and you get diarrhea of the mouth, and I love it. So let's go to Atlanta, Denver, the other ass kicking this week. Is it now the Michael Penix Jr. show? David?
I don't give a shit. No, it's not. He just came in on garbage time. I didn't get to say anything about Pittsburgh. What the hell? But no, it's not Michael Penix Jr. time.
Hey, Dave. I'm actually good. I actually have to go. I really just want to be here to make Eric's face look like that. I've won. Just so you know, Eric, this is what winning looks like. Doesn't matter what fucking points you came up with. You might have been right. I might have been right. Who knows? But your look of defeat is why I'm here, because I fucking won. Now, all that being said, David, I'm just messing with you, Eric. It's great to see. I haven't seen you guys in so long. I'm just fucking with you. But real quick, Sean, please let David talk about Pittsburgh, because David was trying to say something, and I rudely started yelling in his face. So my apologies. I am going to go to let you guys clear today. But just so you know, before I do go, Buffalo has scored 30 points in 8 of 11 games. Buffalo's 9-2 without the horses. Remember, Eric, I just got to make sure we reiterate that, because, we couldn't do shit. We were going to battle with New England because New England has all this talent that we should be ready for next year. I love you guys. Hey, I'm going to tune into you guys. I got some things to do. Thanks, guys. Great to see you, Sean.
See
you, man. Thank you for coming on.
Hey, Sean, I'm a little upset, though. I haven't seen the paper. It's getting a little longer.
I did it before the show. That old bullshit.
I can't fit in the whole screen anymore. I have to sit back to get in the screen. Sean,
you're going to need a poster board pretty soon, Sean.
Eric's fucking up. He stopped trying to grow it long. He's leaving at this level. This level is no good, Eric. Everybody could do that. Let's get some length there. All right, guys. Hey, be good. Hey, real quick, Sean, can I ask a question?
Sure.
I will leave. This has nothing to do with football. Hey, Eric, did you appreciate my video this morning with my mother or no?
I did not.
I know you didn't, but I did.
Hey, let me tell you something. And if Mom's watching, and she
my mom ain't watching this shit.
She might have turned it off because ideally we get on for a while, and she's like, "Wow," but she if I come from a different military background, in my house, if
that would not be allowed.
I would.
Hey, Dave, did you see the video?
No.
Oh, go check out the video. Eric was trying to express to me that I shouldn't cuss and something like that. And I basically said, look, dude, you're not my mom. And I don't, no one ever in my life is going to tell me what I will or won't say. So I took the phone and I said, I can show you better than I can tell you. So I video Mom. Watch the video. It's on our chat. But, Eric was upset. But just so you know, try to suppress it if you can.
I'm not upset. I'm not upset by it. It's what it is.
It is. But it was funny.
I was actually like, what? Your mother? You're talking that way to your mother? I'm like, holy shit. I mean, you bought her a new car, so I guess you could talk to her any way you fucking
Well, wait, you don't understand. Jeffrey also did the water in the bottle trick to my mom and all that kind of other
Listen, by the way, just so you know, and just for clarity purposes, for those who are thinking that I went and just started cussing at my mom, I got to show you the visual aid. My mother is I was going to go just say a cuss word to Mom, right? Just to say, hey, see, Eric, I talked to my mom that way. However, my mother was listening to her phone on speakerphone, and she had a video going, and it is repeated every time I try to talk to her. Usually she has her hearing aids in with the phone connected, so she can't hear, but she cannot. Like, I mean, it's like, this is I think it's a disability, to be honest. She can't press fucking pause. Like when the video's playing and you want to talk to her, all you have to do is touch the phone, right, to pause it. She does this like repeatedly, and it won't stop, and it just keeps going. So as I was going to say a cuss word to her, she was repeatedly touching the phone, and it was still loud as shit. And I was like, just press the fucking button. Press the fucking button. And she's like, I'm trying. Anyway, so I'm sure that it sounded like I was berating my mother, but just so you know, that is, kid you not. And I could take my phone down right now and record, stream live, and that would be my conversation when I got downstairs if I asked my mother a question because she'd be trying to stop the phone from doing it. I could record a million times. Anyway, it was awesome. But
just hit the fucking button in the middle. God, you're losing your fucking mind, Mom.
Yeah, you're losing the fucking mind. All right, guys. I'll see you guys later.
All right.
That's wild. That is wild.
Okay. So we're going to go. David, go ahead, talk about the Pittsburgh game, and then we have a question from our audience. And Katie, you're going to handle this one as soon as David has his piece.
No, I wanted to. All I really wanted to say is it was a good game, but you can't tell me that if Tucker hits those field goals, that anything changes other than the outcome of the game. Because if you tell me that there was no intensity or no desire to put the ball in the end zone for Pittsburgh for 60 minutes, and all of a sudden they would find a different gear or something would happen based on Justin Tucker making 2 field goals, when if you're telling me that Tomlin's theory was as long as we kick 6 field goals again, we're going to win the game. Okay, when Tucker missed 2 and they had no urgency to put the ball in the end zone, I don't see the equation to that being a reasonable excuse. But again, it's a hypothetical because it didn't happen. So we don't know. So most things that we don't know, we speak of in hypotheticals, just like our picks or anything else. So maybe they do score a touchdown. I can tell you based on the game and what the final score was, they wouldn't have scored a touchdown because they didn't for 60 minutes. They got 6 field goals. But anyway, they do get points on the board. You're absolutely correct. And what you call it. And Baltimore didn't. That was the difference in the game. It wasn't that they would have went and scored more and Pittsburgh would have turned up the intensity and put 3 more touchdowns on the board just because Tucker kicked 2 field goals.
Dave, I love it that Katie and I, it's a Katie and I matchup, and I say my bit. I probably talk 3 minutes and Katie talked for less than that. And then you fuckers come on and excuse my language and talk for a half hour. I mean, it's like, bro.
No, I think I do it because in the chat you're very and I don't want to talk about the chat, but in the chat you're very different than what you come out on here. And like your hypotheticals that you're talking, like you say you don't talk hypotheticals, but your entire chat is all based on hypotheticals. So but again, well, anyway, let Katie answer the question.
Yeah, we're going to let Katie answer this question. I'm just going to quick tell you about this whole missed field goal bullshit. I went through the Jets season so far and had fucking Zerline not missed field goals and extra points, we'd have been 5-2 instead of 2-5. Okay, so the hypotheticals don't mean shit. Okay, KD, the question. Oh, that's not the one. Okay, I have an actual question. Seriously, KD, why did Harbaugh only run Henry 13 times?
The best I can explain it is, there was a time, I think Henry had 4 carries for 14 yards, but then he turned around and he ended up with like 7 carries for like 58 yards or something like that. And right then and there, I thought he was going to turn it to say, hey, look, we're just going to try and run the ball as much as we can to get them to start swarming towards the ball or whatnot. But then when you start to take him out and put in Justice Hill and so forth, and I'm okay with it, but you got to sit here and say, look, I got to go with what's my bread and butter, and you got to stop that. Too many times the Ravens haven't been stopped. They stopped doing it. And I'm not sitting there saying Pittsburgh was not capable of stopping the run. They were very much capable. What I am sitting there saying, though, is making Pittsburgh tackle you every time. That, to me, that's when you can lure them to sleep, right? And I'm not sitting there saying you're going to do it every play. But if you can't, if you say, hey, look, I'm going to force myself to 22 carries, no matter who it is, even if it's not Derrick Henry, I'm going to force my way to 22 carries because it's about balance, right? If you don't do that, that's where you have Pittsburgh come after you because they know you're not doing it. And then once I get up by a touchdown or more, now we're talking, hey, okay, look, you really, if you score a touchdown, I'm still within striking distance. So I get to play aggressive even more. That's their philosophy. Their philosophy is, hey, even if you score here, if we're within 2 points or 1 point of you, it's worth it. It's worth that gamble. And then when you yourself, you try to be aggressive because you see what they're doing. Now you force yourself in a situation to where if that's not your strong suit, the passing game, you basically go away from what you are supposed to be doing. I think that's what happened. I will hope and pray it wasn't one of those things. Hey, we kind of just forgot to use Derrick Henry, because again, at the end of the day, we've seen this too many times, and that's the number one thing what people were talking about since the AFC Championship game. Why did Baltimore not stay within their identity? Because again, I don't give a damn about winning the game 6-9. I don't care about that. I can win the game 9-0 and be fine. I'll treat it as if we won the game 52-0. But is that what Coach Harbaugh wants? Is that what the Baltimore Ravens want? Because if that's what they want, that then you need to go out and execute that instead of trying to be cute.
Because Monken was the offensive coordinator last year, correct?
Yeah.
So did he again go back to the AFC Championship playbook and say, let's try to take Pittsburgh by surprise like we did last year against Kansas City? They're going to expect us to run because if I'm not mistaken, the 2 touchdown drives that Baltimore had was when Derrick Henry was most effective, when they were running the ball.
Yeah.
Because during that middle section, they had taken him out of the game a lot of the time. So the last 2 scoring drives was his most effective running. Am I correct?
Yeah, you're correct. And again, one of those things is getting a player like a Derrick Henry is to add to what you already do, not take away from it.
Right.
And I feel this is what I feel. Maybe I'm wrong. I feel it's like, hey, okay, rather than have somebody stop Derrick Henry 4 times in a row, we'll take the ball out of his hands.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I'm not giving it to him, I want him on the field because I want the Steelers to think that he's going to get the ball. right? And whatever I'm going to do, if I'm going to pass off of that and not give him the ball, I need him on the field at least. Because when you take him off the field, that's when you allow my antennas to go up even more. It's like, hey, okay, look, we can tackle these other guys. I'm not worried about them. But this guy right here, I know if he gets to the second level, my cornerbacks and DBs not really trying to tackle him. So I need to do whatever I can to keep him within the front seven.
So can I'm time out.
Okay.
I'm glad we agreed on this because I said this entire thing and then you rolled your eyes because I said what was the problem and Pittsburgh won 8 out of 9 and I said because Harbaugh or whoever he's had different offensive coordinators. They overthink the game plan. They have Lamar try to win from the pocket, which I said would be the key because I knew that was going to happen, and they don't run enough. The majority of the plays were Lamar from the pocket. He was throwing from the pocket.
You're saying that after the fact. The field goals came before Lamar Jackson had 33 attempts.
Now, forget the field goals. I'm talking about the game plan. You said the problem 13 carries for Henry. Everything I said in the beginning.
I said anybody.
Okay, they didn't run enough. They didn't run the ball.
That's not just Henry. That's not just Henry. I said period. I said do it. I said do what you do. Do what is your bread and butter. That's what I said.
Right. And they should run the ball more. I agree 100%. They should not put the ball in Lamar's hands and have Lamar try to beat Pittsburgh every time. They should try to run the ball. I am 100% in agreement. That is an agreement.
Well, and this is what I was going to say, Eric. I was going to that point.
I'm almost done. Problem in this matchup is Harbaugh overthinks it, and Tomlin outcoaches him, and that's why you're at 1-7.
Harbaugh doesn't call the plays,
but he got rid of an offensive coordinator, and it's the same thing. I mean, it's the same.
Who do you get rid of? Who do you get rid of?
Okay, how many offense? You had a different offensive coordinator this year, right? Compared
to you had Greg Roman, you had Todd Monken.
Yep. Okay, so you have 2 offensive coordinators, and they did the same thing.
They did not.
They did.
Right? They didn't
run enough.
Okay. Got it.
All right, listen. Todd Monken's been the offensive coordinator for the last 2 years. Before that was Greg Roman.
Okay, Roman had the same problem. That's why they're running.
But Eric, to your point, real quick, and then we're going to answer Desmond's question. I agree with you because here's the difference in that scenario. Najee Harris ran the ball 19 times or whatever, had a 3.2 rushing average, but Tomlin didn't stray from doing that, even though they were playing a 31st or whatever 32nd ranked pass defense. He didn't come out and say, okay, Russell Wilson, I want you to throw the ball 50 times. That's not his MO. That's not their game plan. Their game plan is to continue to feed the ball. Even if we're getting 2 yards or 3 yards a run, that's what we're going to do. We're going to use our run to set up the pass. We're going to use our run to set up the pass. That's what we do. And to your credit and Pittsburgh's credit, that was the difference in the game. They controlled the ball. They had the ball for 36 minutes of the game. Najee Harris didn't go for any huge yardage. I don't think he made it over 100. I think he had 70-something maybe. But again, the fact is they ran the ball. They stuck to their game plan regardless. Now, had the game score been different, might have they altered it a little bit? Had they made those 2 field goals, would they might have altered some of their things to try to maybe hit the longer passes and do those things? We can't know. Probably because they would have had to try to go down and score. But at the end of the day, good on Pittsburgh. I take nothing away from Pittsburgh in this game. It was a hell of a game, and they won. I would have liked to seen their offense perform better. That's all. So go ahead. Go ahead, Sean.
Okay. Thank fuck. Wow.
Desmond.
That was just 45 minutes on this game, and holy shit. And then what's worse is where we're going, it ain't going to get any better. So everyone try to keep it as concise as possible. Desmond asked a question, and I'm even skipping a game before I get to Desmond's question because I wanted to talk Seattle versus San Francisco, but we're fucking behind time. So we're going to have to toss that out. Desmond asked, have the Chiefs finally been exposed?
Can I answer
My
that?
answer to that question, you go after me. You wait your turn, young man. No. The Chiefs have not been exposed. The Chiefs are just who they are. Could they have been exposed last week against Denver? No, they just played a really good defense. Buffalo is a really disciplined defense. They play well and at home. And Josh Allen, that fourth down run, I was like, holy shit. And I knew he was going to make the first down. I didn't expect him to go in the end zone. Have they been exposed? No, they're a great team. And if you go to the playoffs and it's Buffalo at Kansas City, this is not your outcome. So if they lose another game or two and Buffalo can win, be at home, hopefully it won't go fucking wide right as usual for the Bills. But the Chiefs are who they are, and they just went into a game, and the other team just played better that night. David, go ahead.
I just want to say that I don't think they're exposed. I think they are who they are. And the fact is, they find ways to win. Here's the thing about the Chiefs, which people don't talk about because they were 9-0. The Chiefs could have been 3-6, or they could have been 3-6 instead of 9-0. They made some timely plays, but there were games that they were behind that they pulled out at the end. There were games that they were ahead that they managed to hold on to. They're a good coached, they're a good disciplined team. Again, hypothetical, should have, would have, could have. Yeah, Denver could have beat them the week before. They blocked a field goal. That's coaching and that's noticing. The fact is, I don't even talk about the refs, Jeff, because I don't talk about them. They're not an excuse. It doesn't matter. The fact is, this is a team that finds ways to win football games, close or whatnot. We can make excuses, or we can say, well, this guy didn't do that. But penalties are missed in every game. It doesn't matter whose team is playing. It only matters when that team is playing and you're a fan and you notice every little thing and you complain about it in the chat. But the fact is, you don't complain about the calls that go your way. You just complain about the ones that don't get called. But the fact is, like I said, I think Kansas City is a good team. Kansas City finds ways to win. They've been to the dance. They've been to the mountaintop numerous times. And they have a hell of a coaching staff, and they have hell of a players on their team. They're going to be getting Isaiah Pacheco back in a couple weeks. That's only going to help them. So I don't think they've been exposed. The Bills-Chiefs game was a good game. I think Buffalo for a long time hasn't got the credit that they deserve because everybody talks about the opponents they beat or lost to, or they beat this guy or that guy. But in 8 of 11 games, they've scored 30 points or more. They've given up 30 points once, and that was to Baltimore. And they lost to the Texans by 3. So those were their 2 losses. Every other team that they've beaten, they've scored over 30 points, and they've given up less. So, like I said, at the end of the day, I don't think the Chiefs are exposed. I think they are the team that they've always been, with great coaching, great players, offensively and defensively. And I'm hoping that there's a rematch in the playoffs. Katie, you have anything? Eric?
Katie, do you want to go first?
No, I don't. I mean, I hate when we think of these type of things, and it's not coming from Sean or whatnot, because people were talking about it in the national media. I don't think a team is exposed after one game. They knew each other. It's not like this their first time playing over the last 4 or 5 years. So Buffalo and the Chiefs have been playing each other for the last couple of years and whatnot. And Buffalo has won some of those games. So I don't think they're exposed. My whole thing is this: is like, okay, they talked about adversity and experiencing adversity and stuff like that. Well, now you got some real adversity because you actually took a loss, right? And now do you sit back and say, okay, look, we're going to kind of coast our way into the playoffs? Or are we going to sit here and say, hey, look, we're really trying to keep that number 1 seed? Because being honest with you, if you don't have the number 1 seed coming with this particular team, we may say, hey, look, that dynasty is probably over now. I don't know why I turned. I didn't even move my phone. so but whatever. So yeah, for me, I don't think they're exposed. I do think, hey, having a number one seed does matter this particular year because as we've seen, teams are beatable. So
Hey, can I answer this question, please? I mean, about the exposing of the Chiefs, right? And let me just say this: the Chiefs have been exposed all year, and I don't mean exposed in a way. They're winning games, which is important, right? But at the end of the day, who Mahomes is like what, second to only Geno Smith in interceptions, I think, or maybe like
they're all tied with 11.
Yeah. All right, so he's throwing the interceptions, right? They've been riddled with injuries, but they're finding ways to win because they're coached well, and Mahomes is really great, right? They're good, and oh, by the way, their defense is playing stellar football. I mean, they even played well on Sunday, but it's hard to stop that 30-point onslaught regularly because it's just
hey Jeffrey.
Yeah,
Jeffrey, can I just interrupt you for 1 second?
Yeah,
because I do need to ask the question because last year. And the year before, I've heard Eric always talk about these turnovers, and what makes these quarterbacks so bad is the turnovers. I haven't heard that about Patrick Mahomes and his turnovers. I haven't heard the outrage of a terrible quarterback who can't get it done.
Okay. I'll speak, and I'll get this over. And this is exactly whoever's controlling the FTC chat right now. It's because he's earned the right to. Josh Allen hasn't earned.
No, you don't. You don't earn the right. What you did last year is last year. You don't earn the right for nothing.
No, not when it comes to quarterbacks. Not when it comes to legendary moments. Okay. Right. So, like, ideally.
Oh, wait.
Let him talk, Dave. Let him say whatever bullshit he's gonna say.
That picture of me dying is a legit thing, KD. I mean, I don't know if I can make it through this show tonight. These boys are gonna kill me. But here's the thing. I mean, I'm be 100% real with you. Okay, Patrick Mahomes should not be doubted, and he should be the favorite. I don't care if it's in Buffalo or in Kansas City. He should be the favorite because he's beaten you in those moments. So, am I worried about a slump that he's having this year? No, because he showed up in the moment and done his job and beaten you when he's had to beat you, and you haven't beaten him. You beat him in the regular season. Cool. I mean, cool. You've also had years where you scored 45, 52 and blown everybody out, then gone in the playoffs and kicked it wide right and lost. So until you do something,
and they still scored 38, by the way, but or whatever it was. Just like
I don't care what it is, you got to beat him when it matters, and when you beat him when it matters, then you can have that moment.
Well, we also won 31-17 when it mattered. And now all that being said, but never mind, that was Pittsburgh. You're right. We're talking about I get sidetracked. Hey, but you're right. But let me just say this, and Eric, to your point, and I want to agree with you in one way, but disagree in the other way, because I agree with you in the saying is that he's done it before, and that's fine. And David has said that each year is graded on the individual year, which is right. So two things can be true in the same sentence, which these are two true statements. I think the interesting thing to me is, like, especially Sunday night's game with Kansas City and Buffalo. It's the last drive, and Terrell Bernard, who is another donkey or mule or non-horse, who's made stellar plays and was better than Roquan Smith last year, by the way, every statistical category, and still to make the Pro Bowl. But he's just an arbitrary dude, right? At the end of the day, he intercepted a guy on a going for a winning drive, right? I say that because you have not seen Josh Allen do that in his career, to throw an interception onto the game. And now he has thrown a Hail Mary that got picked off. But his interceptions, the bulk of them, come in the first and second quarter or the third quarter. And I don't believe any game is decided in the first quarter because, I mean, if that was the case, when you were down 28-0 to Cleveland, we could have just called it over. But you made it a game, right? When you were down 21-0 to Buffalo, we could have just called it a game, but you made it a game, right? And I say that because no game is decided in the first quarter. When those waiting moments come, and I know Patrick has done it in the past, my point when I came on wasn't to disparage Patrick Mahomes. Or the Kansas City Chiefs. What I'm saying is the question was, are the Chiefs exposed? The Chiefs have been beatable every single game this year. There has not been a decisive win for them. They're 9-1 with no decisive victories. Each game, the Bengals game came down to a bullshit pass interference call. The Falcons game came to a bullshit non-pass interference call. And I'm saying that, David, wholeheartedly, not ribbing on the refs, but these are real life game decisions at the end. Oh, by the way, Isaiah Likely had 3 inches of his big toenail off on the white yard line or in the end zone to lose the game, and that he was out of bounds. Game's over. A blocked field goal. Game's over. So I'm saying that to say, yeah, Buffalo won. And what was the score? 30-21. Is that what it was? It was the final, right? Yeah. So whatever. I think that was their largest margin of victory and or defeat throughout the course of the year. I'm saying that because they're not exposed. They just do not have the offensive weaponry that they've had in years past. The Pacheco being out, when Tyreek Hill left, they still were able to put up numbers, but not like they had in the past. So Mahomes is struggling. But to your point, Eric, and I agree with you, they're finding ways to win, albeit ugly, albeit maybe with help, maybe without help. At the end of the day, they're 9-1, and they are the number 1 seed in the AFC right now. And we'll see what it looks like at the end of the year. But I don't think exposed is the right word, but I think beatable every week is the right word.
See, I just don't agree with the earned it, because
I don't agree with that.
You say that about Patrick Mahomes, okay? But Lamar Jackson's won 2 MVPs. But you can criticize Lamar about throwing in the pocket, this and that. They were 15-2 last year, or whatever their record was. But he hasn't earned the right, even though he has the hardware, but he hasn't earned the right to be considered good, because if he throws in the pocket, he sucks. But he's won 2 MVPs. He's got the hardware. So Patrick Mahomes, he can throw 11 interceptions because he's earned that right, because he's won a Super Bowl. He won a Super Bowl. He's got to win another one, okay? And throwing 11 interceptions, I don't care how many he's won. The fact is, he's won 3, not 4. So the fact is,
well, Dave, but wait, hold on, Dave. To Eric's point, I guess, and you're not going to be able to curve his thought process, because remember, Ben Roethlisberger won 1 Super Bowl too in 1984, and he still loves him, and because he is the Pittsburgh Almighty. So you're not going to change his mind. Super Bowls are the epitome of a quarterback stat for Eric, where I think that where we have just a completely different ideology of that, because we understand on this side of the fence that that's a team award. Where MVPs would be an individual award, why Peyton Manning has 5 or 6 of them. But at the end of the day, it is a season by season. And right now, Mahomes is having a really shitty season. He's not a top 10 guy. But here's the deal. To the argument from earlier when you said, is Watt a part of the MVP discussion? Well, here's the answer. They are 9-1. Patrick Mahomes could lead the team in interceptions. He could be not top 5 in any QB stat. The reality of it all is, Lamar Jackson, without being top 5 in any QB stat last year, had the best record in the NFL or in the AFC, and was the MVP. So Patrick Mahomes is on pace to do just that, because at the end of the day, records matter in the voting last year, because they haven't mattered. I mean, I'm not saying a losing quarterback could win it, but there was no statistical balance, right, to where that would be. But so that being said, Mahomes has got to be the key leader for the MVP vote, because they're 9-1. And he's winning, right?
John, let's move on. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to be
okay. The student waits as the master baits. Okay, let's move on.
At least we know this,
we're going to go to this week's pick'em, because we are now 35 minutes behind. We had a whole other segment, but we will do that possibly next week.
Oh, I fucked it up for everybody. I'm sorry, Sean. I'm gonna leave again. My bad.
No, you're good. You're good. It was a spirited discussion. I don't mean to.
I wanted to see the predictions. God damn it.
If we can go through them quick, and we can make fun of each other for like 2 minutes. But okay, so here it is. Before the season began, we picked teams, and whether they would win or lose. We missed one division, and we missed the Jacksonville Jaguars, because I printed out the 2023-2024 schedule. So here we go, real quick. NFC East. Eric predicted the Cowboys would be 4-6. They're actually 3-7. Very close. David said the Eagles would be 6-4. They were 8-2. Eric said the Giants will be 6-4. They are 2-8. And David said Washington will be 4-7, and they are 7-4.
Lots of talent on that Giants team.
There you go. In the North, Eric said Chicago will be 6-4. They're 4-6. Jeffrey said Lions will be 7-3. They're 9-1. Again, David said Green Bay 6-4. They ended up 7-3, which is damn close again. And Eric said 5-5, and they're actually 8-2. And Bailey said they would be 17-0. So Bailey is closer right now than Eric is. Okay, so the West. Eric said Cardinals will be 2-8. They're 6-4. That is a surprise. I don't think anyone, Cardinals are definitely one of the surprises this year. David said Rams will be 6-4. They're 5-5. Damn close. Eric said 6-4 for San Francisco. They're 5-5. Again, damn close. And David off by a game, 4-6 to 5-5. So honestly, for before season picks, we're doing damn well. Going to the AFC. David, you are spot on. 9-2 for the Bills. Eric said 6-5. They're 9-2. Eric said 6-4 for the Dolphins. They're 4-6. Of course, the Tua injury that had a huge part to play. David said Patriots are going to be 3-8, and they're 3-8. Woo. Nice job, David. And Eric said the Jets would be 10-1, and they are 3-8.
Hey, Sean, I'm losing the picks.
Real quick, Eric said not only. Wait, I want to take this a step further because Eric said the Jets would be 10-1 and clinching the division by Thanksgiving. And I want to just put this out there, just for a fun fact for you all, in case you haven't been paying attention. Just so you know, if any team in the AFC East besides Buffalo loses a game, all they have, the Dolphins lose, the Bills clinch. For the rest of the year, if Buffalo wins one game, Buffalo clinches the division. So, I just think it's interesting because though it couldn't be done before Thanksgiving because Buffalo doesn't play, now it can be if Miami loses this week and if the Patriots lose this week, Buffalo clinches the division. I just think it's funny because that will be before Thanksgiving, and I just think that's a really exciting thing to say. And I wouldn't care if it was Buffalo or not. It's any team to clinch the division by Thanksgiving, right? So that's just my 2 cents.
Jeff is Victory Lab around that, so we all get to listen to the
No. Hey, look. Hey.
Oh shit!
Okay. If we were talking about the Falcons right now, or if we were talking about the 49ers is funny to me because you're spot on almost with the 49ers, right? And the interesting thing about that is the 49ers are based solely on injury, right? So if all things were the same, you got to the result based on variables that weren't to be included. So the bottom line is you're right, and I'll give that to you. But if we were talking about the 49ers or the Cardinals clinching the division before Thanksgiving, that would be a really exciting thing, right? I would like that's because we don't see that often in the NFL. I don't give a shit what year it is. There's not often that teams clinch before Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
and the fact that
you go ahead, but the 49ers isn't a variable, right? Because McCaffrey has an injury history, which I thought was going to be one of the main reasons.
You're right. You're right. No. Hey, look. You said that too. So I'm not saying that you're completely wrong and just stupid and off base. I think when I said, and I'm not defending my position on San Francisco, but I did say for the last 5 years, insert said players because they haven't been consistently the same players. They've had great defenses, they've had great offenses, and they've done well, except for the year on opening day when they played the Giants and all of their defense got hurt and they had a really shitty season. But other than that, those years they have dominated the NFC West, and I said they would do it again. But they've had everybody, right, been hurt. So it's not even just McCaffrey. It's Debo out 2 games.
I think the problem is they got injuries on both sides of the ball. It's not just offensive.
Everything. Everything. But nonetheless, Eric's right, and I'm not harping on that. I'm not trying to hurt it. I really came in to say that about the cool stat. That's it.
All right.
And
so
Sean,
and David, you go ahead.
Real quick, in nice language. Man, your Jets are they're the biggest
fucking awful.
They are the biggest letdown of my life.
Hey.
Your life.
Hey. Look here. Sean didn't do this prediction. You did it. So own up to that shit.
I know. I really believe John Henry, with his nice, smooth words, with his alcoholic,
Oh wow!
I just want to say, don't tell me I don't know my division. Don't tell me I don't know my division.
David, you actually, with all these picks and all these divisions, you did very, very well. And Eric, you actually did very, very well. This is like the only bomb that was like, holy shit, 10-1 to 3-8. So anyway, so we go to the AFC North now. Eric, you said the Ravens will be 7-4. They're in fact 7-4. David, you said Bengals will be 6-5. They're 4-7. And you said the Browns will be 6-4. They were 2-8. And Eric 7-3 and 8-2. So Eric knows his division also.
Hey, if you shoot 100 shots, you're bound to hit 2 of them.
There you go.
Good job, Eric.
Hey, in high school basketball, man, I was shooting every time. I'd have 6 points, but we'd lose by 50.
Well, here's Eric again. It's the Houston Texans 7-4 to 7-4. He said the Colts would be 2-9. They are 5-6. We did not finish the Jaguars because I printed out the wrong schedule, but they're 2-9. And David said Tennessee would be 4-6. They are 2-8. So, not bad. No one really cares about that division, though. Okay, so now here we go. The West. David said Broncos would be 4-7. They're 6-5. Surprise. David said Kansas City would be 6-4. They are 9-1. A little bit of a bomb, but not bad. Eric said the Raiders would be 5-5. They are 2-8. And the Chargers would be 5-5. They're 7-3. So not that far off. Really, if you look at everything, you guys would have been better sticking with these picks instead of picking your own every week because you've sucked since then. Well, David, you're coming on strong, but Eric,
this guy right there at the bottom.
Yeah, Eric, you have issues.
Hey man, hey, Eric, look, this is what you need to do, bro. Look, if you don't make it in your current career field, go be a psychic.
There you go.
Go be a psychic. Okay. You can convince you can convince the shit out of some people. Yeah.
Hey, I hope none of my kids or none of my coaches are watching because man, I'm getting roasted here.
Yeah, it's been a tough night for you, buddy, but that's okay. You can take it. I know you're sleepy. So we're gonna go on to this week's pick'em. We're gonna talk about 4 particular games during this because I was gonna do this before, but we're gonna hit it after. So David, my big question to you is, will you put out the challenge again?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you are going to use your credit card to buy these things, not the $73 we've had sitting in our account for the last year at ftcsportstalkradio.etsy.com, where you can buy all your merchandise from this wonderful show.
Yes, I will.
Hey, a little piece of advice. We can take that $73 and parlay that.
Oh, shit. We were supposed to do the parlay. Damn it. Okay.
We can do it after.
You, Dave.
All right. We're going to do a parlay on this show next week, and we're going to do it first thing, the very first thing. And Katie and I put in our money for the last couple of weeks. Okay, so we're going to have a $30 parlay, and each one of us is going to pick one part of the 4-part parlay and see if we can win any money and maybe make ourselves some money. By the way, the FTC Sports sweatshirts are freaking amazing. They are really comfortable. And I know it's a little bit expensive, but buy one. Trust me. I'm going to put FTC Sports. Where's the fucking mute button? Okay, so we're going to start off. I already have all Jeff's picks. So, David, you're going to start this one off.
What was our last week?
Was that?
You got to put up the last week's picks.
Oh, shit. I forgot to do that. So last week, Jeff was 7-7. David was 11-3. Katie 10-4. Eric was 8-6, and I was 12-2. I have regained the lead for this week and guaranteed Katie will take it back from me next week until the end of the year. This is where we're going to end up. The good news is it's odd number of weeks. So Katie will win in 12. I'll win in 13 and so on. But 17 is mine. I will win by 1 game over Mr. Arrington. So, all right, let's go ahead and take this down.
That's why you're just playing for field goals, Sean. That's all.
Oh, now, man, I'm playing. I want to crush you guys. And David, you were pathetic last year. You were like Eric last year. Eric, you need some help.
Eric's been trying to like chase the bank the last couple of weeks, trying to make up ground by picking these like off center games, thinking that he could make up a couple games, and it's proven to be his downfall.
He's kind of listening for everything, being like, okay, where can I gain here? Like, I think he just wants to beat you.
What, for total ineptness?
Yeah, he just wants to say, I am not the worst. So there we go. But Jeff last week being 7-7.
Well, he'll be catching Jeff before me.
Yeah, and if he beats Jeff, I think that will be a victory for him.
Oh, if he beats Jeff, I'm turning off the chat notifications.
That's why I turned it off a year ago. Okay, so David, to you. Pittsburgh at Cleveland. Jeff has picked Pittsburgh.
Yeah. I know it's a division game. It's a tough game. They play each other tough. It doesn't matter. I mean, throw records out the window. Cleveland played Baltimore tough and won. I look at this game as just it's going to be hard fought. I think Pittsburgh wins it in the end, but they can't settle for field goals. They got to put the ball in the end zone. So I'm taking Pittsburgh.
Okay. Everything he just said is bullshit. Pittsburgh runs away with this one. KD.
Yeah, the loss of JOK is huge for the Browns defense. I'm taking the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I'm not even going to ask you, Eric.
But I agree with a lot. I think Cleveland will play them tough. It's a division game, and I think Pittsburgh will score more, but I think they'll hang around for a little while. Your wife took Cleveland, so I can only assume that over there, KD, that things are not well. I'm not a fan favorite over there. But hello, Miss Arrington. I hope you're having a wonderful night.
Hold on, time out. Why would you not be a fan favorite over here? You ain't the fucking only Steelers fan we know. Fuck you.
Hey, just tell her ideally that I adore the hell out of you, KD, and every week that we're not playing.
David actually just messaged me, and he said if Jennifer beats him this week, he will not buy her a T-shirt. He will buy her a sweatshirt, the hoodie. So,
you better not lose, Eric. Oh, you better not lose.
So, Miss Arrington, please continue to pick.
Who messaged you that?
David. It says from David Lodick right here.
That better come out of the bank.
All right. So, to me, Minnesota at Chicago. I'm going to go Minnesota. Chicago's cursed. KD?
They did sort of struggle. I'm going to go Minnesota. I'm going to stay right.
Okay. Jeff picked Minnesota. Eric?
I got the Vikings.
David?
Man, this is tough because, Chicago, for all intents and purposes, their running game is fantastic. It's been good. And Sam Darnold has made quite a few mistakes the last couple of weeks. I know I talked bad about Caleb and stuff, but I think this game, again, the division game is going to be very close, very competitive. I will take Minnesota, but a Chicago victory would not surprise me.
All right. Real quickly, I'm just going to put this out there. Anyone who doesn't want to tune in for the rest of the program, you can email your picks to ftcsports1@gmail.com and get in on this T-shirt giveaway, unless you are Miss Arrington, where you get a sweatshirt. Compliments of David Lodick.
Well, she took Cleveland and Chicago, so I'm pretty safe right now.
I would say you're looking pretty good, but she's. You
right.
would kill me if she goes 16. If she goes,
I'm kidding, Miss Jennifer. I'm telling you, those two games are both going to be close.
She goes 13-0, and we all like go 1-12.
Yeah.
I'll fucking die. KD, to you. Detroit at Indy.
This is where I think the AR resurgence or them people hyping them up stops. I think the Lions handle them very easily, so I'm going Lions.
Okay, Eric.
Ooh. I got to make up ground here.
The wrong game to make up ground.
Not the game we do it on.
This is the wrong game.
All right, Katie, you're talking out of it. I am. I think it'll be close. I think the Colts will play tight.
So you're going.
You got 3 games in a row to make up.
I've got Detroit, but I think it's going to be a game.
It'll be close if they lap the number cycle and they come back around again and get close that way. No, Detroit.
Okay. Yeah, the scoreboard only goes up to 99.
Yeah.
And they get to the next 3, it's like 2.
Yep.
Detroit. Okay, so Eric, whoa. Here's a game you can waffle on. New England at Miami.
It's at Miami. But you see,
at Miami.
I like Polk, and I like what New England's doing, though. Okay, we can laugh about it, but I think New England's going to be okay in a few years. I mean, maybe another year, but I'm going to go Miami because I know Tua's playing, and I know they've got more weapons. But I just think New England will play tough. If the game was at New England, I might take the Patriots.
Week 17.
Yeah, I'm taking Miami in this game.
KD. Oh, wait a minute. I go first. Yeah, I'm taking Miami. KD.
I'm gonna go New England. I'm gonna go New England on this one.
That if they win, it wouldn't be such a surprise. Okay.
He catches you.
David, Tampa Bay at the Giants.
Tampa. I really didn't have to think.
All right. Tampa Bay at the Giants. Yeah, I'm going Tampa. KD?
Yeah, give me Tampa. I'll take Tampa.
Eric?
Danny DeVito. I'm going to go Danny DeVito. He gives New York. I think he gives New York a moment here. I'm going to go the Giants.
Wow.
Okay, that's bold.
Hey! Look, just because his fucking family owns a bunch of Italian beef shops in New York doesn't mean he's gonna fucking go out and do nothing. They just gonna get free food after the game.
All right. To me, and this is one game to talk about, not for any specific reasons, but just because it's America's team. Dallas at Washington. I don't think Dallas has a hope in hell. Dan Quinn, I think, destroys them. And I think he does it with a little bit of heart. I don't think he runs it up, but I think he beats them decidedly. KD?
Yeah, I'm going Washington in a game that they realize, hey, okay, look, this is why we do what we do. And they're going to show, hey, it's going to be a Dan Quinn appreciation game. So,
Eric,
I said 41-3, and you guys laughed at me last week, and it was almost 41-3. It's 34-10. I mean, so I was not far off. So, ideally, 41-9, Washington.
Yeah, that's definitely how the lottery works too. I was close. I'll give you $1 million. Fuck out.
Only a couple numbers off. Otherwise, I would have won $350 billion.
Touchdown both ways.
No, I think Washington's too tough. I think their defensive line. I mean, Cooper Rush was sacked 5 times last night, and Washington's defense. They just don't have the weapons. I'm taking Washington.
All right. And Jen is taking Washington. I got everything so far, Jen. Okay, Kansas City at Carolina. Is anyone taking Carolina?
No.
Okay.
Calm yourself. Calm your fucking self. Calm
Go
yourself.
ahead, Eric. I dare you.
I can see the. Hey, I
I
can see the
dare
fucking
you.
twinkle in your eye. The twinkle in your eye is fucking fighting back.
Carolina has won 2 in a row, have they not?
I dare you.
No.
Dude.
No.
Dude, you will be the only one in the nation who does that. I dare you. Put that on a prop bet, dude.
Hey, if
you know what? We should put all $30 on Carolina because it's probably like 847 to 1. And I don't give a shit about losing $30. But if we
you win,
like
though, God
million,
hey,
we buy the Jets.
We are going on a live trip. We're going to do our Facebook Live buying the New York Jets.
On the From the Couch yacht.
Yeah. Buying the Jets. We're in New York buying the Jets on our show live because we took the Panthers. That would be freaking awesome.
Yes. The From the Couch yacht is a fucking canoe with a bunch of holes in it and an electric motor with no battery.
Hey, we got duct tape and hardened bubble gum with matching the holes in it.
Yeah, you got 5 pedal boats in the middle of Sholo Lake going, woo, look at our yacht. We'll tie them together.
Yeah, and we're all pedaling in different directions. Okay, Miss Arrington, I'm going to put you down for Kansas City because I haven't seen it yet. But I'm assuming versus Carolina. Okay, so that one was supposed to be the KD, but I'm not going to dignify him with that. Tennessee at Houston, KD.
Tennessee has a top 10 defense statistically. So, and they're suited to deal with the Titans passing offense. However, there's a guy named Joe Mixon that resurged his career. So I'm gonna go Texans.
All right. Eric.
Houston.
Yeah.
David.
I'm taking Houston, but Houston hasn't impressed me the last couple weeks. So, but I'm taking Houston, but they're not impressive, but I'm taking Houston.
All right. Eric. Denver at Las Vegas Raiders.
Denver.
Okay. David.
I'm taking Denver.
KD.
Here we get them Broncos, man. Here we get them Broncos.
Well, goddamn.
Who are you taking, Sean?
Well, I am going to take Denver, but I just want to look back. Where is this Miami game? Oh, Vegas at Miami. And Jeff, KD, and Eric all picked the Raiders. So I just wanted to.
Raiders?
Eric, KD, and Jeff all picked the Raiders to beat Miami. So I just want to, rub a little salt in the wound there.
That's all right.
All right. David, this is a good game, one we could discuss just a little bit here. San Francisco at Green Bay. This is going to be a good game. This is in the afternoon, or one of our second afternoon game.
Didn't Purdy get hurt?
He's questionable. Who's their backup?
Is it Blaine Gabbert? No, yeah. Is it? I don't know who their backup is.
My phone's dead, boys.
But
it is Brandon Allen.
Oh yeah, Brandon Allen. But
they signed Josh Dobbs now.
Oh, look out! But
Super Saiyan 3, Josh Dobbs.
I'm just saying.
And it's San Francisco
at Green Bay.
Because it's in Green Bay and it's not Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay, I'm going to take Green Bay.
I want to pick Green Bay. I do. If Purdy's going to play, if they get McCaffrey going, I'm going to go San Francisco in this one. This is my one like shit pick of the week. I'm going to go San Francisco, going to Green Bay and winning it. KD?
Yeah, I'm gonna go San Fran. I think that struggle last week took me a little bit down off the Packers.
Eric?
Here's my thing, Sean. I trusted you with the Jets. Over the summer, your wise words were like a cool breeze to me. and it refreshed
my nickname, man. Everyone who I know calls me Cool Breeze.
It refreshed me, and you had me believing. So now you are trying to talk me in again to taking San Francisco, and I cannot do that. I cannot do that for that reason. I got to take Green Bay. I gotta go with my leading logical logic up at the top.
All right. Yeah, nothing's bad ever following David anywhere. Okay, so fuck you, David. You started that one, so now it's to me. Another game to talk about, and I can't believe this because we all thought Arizona was going to suck. Arizona at Seattle. Like Seattle just went into San Francisco and won, just like Arizona went into San Francisco and won. Arizona, besides the Chargers, I think have been the surprise team of the year. If anyone thinks I'm wrong about that, kiss my ass. God damn, Arizona at Seattle. I keep voting against them, and they keep proving me wrong. I'm going to go Arizona in this one. I think Arizona can go into Seattle and win. KD.
Let me get the Seahawks.
All right.
I want you guys just for a moment to live in a hypothetical with me. If you imagine, and it's not over for Seattle, if Geno Smith meets Russell Wilson in the Super Bowl, can you imagine the show? Can you imagine Jeff?
I'm sorry. I'm not living in that hypothetical bullshit. But hey, whatever.
I am rooting for that in the hardest way. Because, I mean, ideally, there's not two things that would make his head explode more than watching that happen. So, therefore, I am hoping Seattle has a resurgence, and I'm going with Geno, and I've got Seattle.
Yeah, if Seattle beats Arizona, Seattle is in first place in the NFC West. Therefore, I know I've taken Arizona the last couple of weeks. This time in Seattle, I'm taking the Seahawks.
All right. And Jennifer, yes, I have all your picks. I'm still keeping up with you. We're all good. Anyone else? Again, send your picks to ftcsports1@gmail.com and get that T-shirt from David. Philadelphia at the Rams. That's Eric.
You know, I'm going to go an upset. I got the Rams.
David.
I like the Rams. I love Byron Murphy. They got Puka and Kupp, and they've been playing good. But man, that firepower on Philly. I mean, you got Saquon, you got and they're playing in LA. I'm going to take I'm taking Philly. I'm taking Philly.
All right. I am also going Philly. I don't think they're as great as they think they are, but they're damn good. So yeah, Philly's going to come out and beat the Rams. KD.
Give me the Eagles.
All right. Well, there you go. Eric, you are the lone wolf.
Oh.
Hey, Miss Arrington, or Mrs. Arrington, apologies. I am desperately trying to climb up that mountain and catch Jeff here.
Yeah, you are what? Oh, Jesus Christ! You're 12 games behind. Okay, yeah, you got some work to do. All right, and last but not least, David, this one is to you. Baltimore at the Chargers on Monday night.
Who is that to me? Baltimore at the Chargers. Wow.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Man. Brother against brother. Offensive coordinator against former team. Offensive coordinator who's patient and doesn't do anything stupid and plays to his strength. Give me the Chargers.
Oh, you got the Chargers. Shit, I just marked it down for Baltimore. Sorry. Okay, Chargers. Son of a bitch. I was kind of hoping you were going to pick Baltimore because then I was like, oh, yeah, I'm going for the Chargers then. Shit. This is a tough one, man. Okay. Before I continue, we're going to get here in a second, folks. The Chargers were in the Cancun room like 4 weeks ago. They're no longer in the Cancun room. They purchased a round trip ticket. They are out. And the Chargers will make the playoffs. Chargers at home. I'm going to go Chargers. Katie.
I'm going Ravens. I think the Ravens find a way to get back to what they've been doing, and I just think the additions, some of the additions that they've had. Now, if Roquan is out, that is going to make it significantly tighter.
Eric, you're last.
You're muted.
This is a huge, tough one for me because I think Baltimore is going to come out and at least with some fire because they come out after a loss usually pretty well. But there's a couple things. Roquan, from what I read, is out, so that sucks. And I really was hoping that there would not be any significant injuries in that game when I said what I said at the beginning of the game because it's always a physical game, and there's always one of these injuries where it's like, man, this sucks for them. So, it's tough. I think the Chargers have it going on. I think Herbert has it going on. I think McConkey's got it going on. I think there's some ex-Ravens there. The Chargers have a good defense. But it comes down to, do I trust John versus Jim? And I got to go with the elder statesman of the coaching because John, he's an overthinker, and he does it a lot in big games where he overthinks things, and sometimes the simple answer is the right answer, and that guy can't ever go with the simple answer. He's always going to try to overthink it. Therefore, I'm going to take the Chargers. I think it's going to be the game of the week, and I think it's going to be a highly competitive game.
All right, so that's all our picks for next week. Again, if you want a T-shirt, get your picks in ftcsports1@gmail.com. They must be in before kickoff of the Thursday night game, so we are all on a level playing field. All right, well, thank you very much for tuning in tonight. I hope it was as special for you as it was for me. And, gentlemen, if we could all say good night to our fans, thank you.
Good night, folks.
Peace.
We will see you next week from the couch.